game, Skip, basically you're guaranteed 30 points when Mahomes starts in a playoff game. And if you look at his playoff games over his career, and I know it's brief, he scored at least 30 points in every playoff game. And he's on that pace last week until he got knocked out, 2 or 3 minutes into the third quarter. And so that's what you're up against. And I think Buffalo knows it. If I'm not mistaken, Josh Allen says we got to outscore. He knows their defense. The days of you holding this offense down to 17 and you winning the 2017 game, Skip, I don't see that happening unless you can coax 4 or 5 turnovers out of Mahomes, and I just don't see that happening. He's 24 of 25. So basically his last 25 games, he's won 24 of those. Tyreek, Travis Kelce, 100% healthy. And if we go back and look at this game the first time they played, Skip, the Chiefs had a season high in rush yards, 245 yards, because they kept the safeties deep, because they didn't want to give the big plays up over your head.
Yep.
Now, we know the Bills struggle at stopping the run. So you're going to have to give up something. What are we willing to give up, Skip? Are you going to let them run the football? Because they can possess the football. Andy Reid doesn't have a problem, and EB doesn't have a problem calling runs. If you're going to keep those play cover to that shell safety, they just run you out of it. So this is why I'm taking them. I know Josh Allen is spectacular. The defenses leaves a lot to be desired on both sides of the ball. I don't think either defense is great, but they're opportunistic. You make a mistake, they generally make you pay for it. Lamar made one mistake last week, and the guy hit his head on the goalpost on a 101-yard INT return. You make a mistake, Honey Badger will normally make you play. So, Skip, with me, I'm looking at it like Buffalo. They haven't even tried to run the ball in the playoffs, Skip. They just forget it. They're dropping back 73% of the time. Devin Singletary's out. I think Singletary's out, or maybe it's Zach Moss is out.
Gone.
But they don't try to run the ball, Skip. And the one thing that you need to do against KC is that you need to run the football. You need to possess the football. And you look at teams that's kind of giving them trouble, although they haven't beaten them, they're snapping the ball around 5 seconds or less. I don't know if Buffalo's going to do that because Buffalo wants to be up-tempo. So I'm going to take a very high-scoring game. I'm going to say Chiefs win the game 35-31.
35-31, so Chiefs will, by your score, cover barely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to remind you that when we made our preseason predictions, I picked your former team, the Baltimore Ravens, to win it all. Their season obviously ended at Buffalo last weekend.
Correct.
And yet, I still think Baltimore would have won that game if Lamar hadn't hit his head on not the goal post, but the turf in the end zone,
right,
and been gone for a fourth quarter in which he would have had the wind behind him, because in the second quarter he threw for 111 yards with a really strong wind. And I think he would have been hard to stop in the fourth quarter, but we will never know that. I also threw in my prediction before the season started, if I had any guts, I would pick the Bills to win the AFC. And you were a little surprised, if not shocked, that I said that.
Yep.
I wasn't sure Josh Allen had come of age on time to pull that off, but I like the culture that Sean McDermott has slowly but surely established. I like the way they play defense, how they hang in, and how smart the secondary is. They have playmakers all through their secondary. And I just like the feel of this team and its momentum, the steps it's taking toward getting to a Super Bowl. Maybe I should have listened to myself. So now I am going to listen to myself, and I am going to pick Buffalo just because that's all I have left for my preseason prediction, that I almost went there, so I'll go there now. But why would I go there? Well, to me, Buffalo is heading straight north in a good way. And Kansas City, I'm not saying they're heading south, but they're just teetering along heading south, because if these cats have 9 lives, it feels like they just used them all up. Because over their last 9 games, the Chiefs' last 9 games, they have been highly unimpressive, to the point it feels like each of those games they've been on borrowed time. It felt like they were on borrowed time through the whole playoffs a year ago, when they fell perilously behind to the Texans at home, and then the Titans at home, and then the 49ers at the Super Bowl, perilously behind. They're behind in the Super Bowl 20-10 all the way into the fourth quarter, and down 20-10 late third. Mahomes threw a terrible interception. Down 20-10 early fourth quarter, he threw another horrible interception. Yeah, they live to tell. They just keep living to tell. And you got me when you say, yeah, what did the scoreboard say at the end of the game? Well, they won. But look at these last 9 games, shall we? Look at margins of victory. Carolina at home, they won by 2. At Las Vegas by 4. At Tampa, we remember that game. Brady got back in the game at 27-24 and never got the ball back. But they hung on to win by 3. Denver at home by 6. At Miami by 6. At New Orleans by 3. Impressive, but by 3. Atlanta at home by 3. Not impressive. Then nobody played against the Chargers, but they lost by 17 at home. Cleveland at home, they won by 5. Okay, so it's like barely hanging on for dear life. And at some point, you're going to run out of your 9 lives. So that's 9 games in which their overall margin of victory is plus 15. They were plus 15 points over 9 games. Think about that.
Think about this, Skip.
How impressive is that?
It's very impressive because when you look at the Bucs, did the Bucs ever have the ball with a chance to take the lead in that ball game in which they lost by a couple of points? Did the Bucs ever have the ball with a chance to take the lead? No, they did not.
Well, obviously, there's 4. Brady drove them for another long touchdown to go 27-24 with 4:10 left.
So he never had a chance. So he never had the ball.
Killed the clock with 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, the Dolphins. Did the Dolphins ever have a chance once Mahomes and the Chiefs got the lead? Did they ever have the ball with a chance to take the lead?
Okay.
No, they did not.
All right.
Okay, what about the Saints?
You were describing borrowed time. Borrowed time.
But you see what's happening here.
One little mistake and you lose. One little mistake.
But Skip, you make it seem like the game was nip and tuck. How many points were they ahead? At one point, they were 17-0. At one point, they were 14, 15 points in front of the Saints. At one point, they were what? 30-10 in front of the Dolphins. So you make it seem like the game is nip and tuck.
Hanging on for dear life.
When you get ahead by that much, you don't do anything reckless. You're in the defense plays different. Guys, listen to give them nothing cheap, nothing deep. And so they get a lot of these completions. I'm trying to figure out, if it was so close, how did you get down 30-10 if you're the Miami Dolphins? If you're so good, how did the Bucs and that defense get down 17-0? How did the Saints get down by 14 if they're so good? If Mahomes is so bad, if the team is so bad, how are they getting up by double digits in 2 and 3 scores on these great teams?
If you're a juggernaut, if you're a tour de force, you blow people out. That's 9 straight games in which they've blown out nobody. They've hung on for dear life.
Guess what? I know a team that went 18-0, and they were blowing everybody out. And the moment they got into a close ball game, they got their head bust. You know why? Because they had never been under that type of pressure. The moment of the magnitude of that, you saw what happened in the Super Bowl because they had never been there before like that.
So there was method to the madness. They said, let's let them back in the game so we can fire test ourselves in a close game.
No, Skip.
Let's see if we can figure out how to hang on.
No, Skip. If your team, all you're hoping to do when you play a team like Mahomes or you played a team like the 2007 Patriots, you said, let's get to the 4th quarter. Don't let them run and hide and let them be up by 21. Don't let them be up by 17 going into the 4th quarter. Let's make it a nip-tuck ball game. Well, my homeboy says that you make it close you want to. If I get this ball, ask the Vegas Raiders. They had the lead. My homeboy said, I got this. He went and got it. The Saints, y'all had to do an onside kick. We don't do it. We don't do no onside kick because it don't come down to that. We don't come down to no onside kicks.
As great as they are, one little mistake, one little error, and you lose.
You Skip. That's what anybody.
This is lose and go home.
Skip. That's what the beauty of football is. That's the beauty of sports because it's not 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7.
All right. So now let's look at the visiting team, shall we? The Buffalo Bills have almost quietly won 11 of their last 12 games.
Yeah.
And obviously, that should have been 12 of 12 games because at Arizona, with 34 seconds left, that guy on the left, number 17, hit his favorite receiver. You could argue maybe the most productive and best receiver in football right now, the most unguardable receiver in football, Stephon Diggs. He hits him with a touchdown pass to put them up 30-26. They're up 4, so it's a field goal can't even catch them at that point with 34 seconds left, and you know what happened. The Hail Murray happened, and they lost at the buzzer. 43-yard touchdown
First of all, y'all got Kyler Murray.
Okay.
We got my homeboy, the best quarterback in football.
Okay.
Y'all got DeAndre.
Okay.
We got Tyreek and Travis.
Okay. But over the last 12 games, 11 out of 12, should have been 12, The Bills are a plus 155 in points, while you're over your last 9, you're a plus 15. Whew. So one team is just taking off, and the other one's just sputtering and just sort of hoping to stay airborne as long as possible. Just choking and coughing toward the
You know what's good, Bayless? It's a funny story. I remember my homeboy came and picked my homeboy Bucket. He used to come pick me up when I fly into town from Savannah. He came and picked me up.
Yep.
Now, he had a car, Skip. He had a yellow Blazer. Yeah, think about that. A yellow Blazer. Had to stick in the floor. So he come out. I come outside and say, oh, okay, where the car at? He's like, man, that's it right there. So I'm about to get it. I'm about to open the door. I said, man, I can't believe you. He's like, hold on, wait a minute, Sharp. I say, go around to your side and get in. He say, my side of the door won't open. I say, you come pick me up in this bucket? He said, it's going to get you the way you need to be. Okay, they sputtered along. Win. So what you want to do? You want to ride it? Guess what, Skip? I used to fly, got a little money now. I fly a little first class. But when I didn't have no money, guess what? Outside the back of the plane.